Imagine, for a moment, the tranquil morning light as it begins to rise over the sprawling landscapes of ancient China, casting soft golden hues across the undulating hills and the winding rivers that have cradled the very foundations of one of the world's oldest civilizations. The air is laced with the delicate scent of blooming lotus flowers, their petals gently unfurling in the warmth of dawn, while the gentle sound of water flowing over smooth stones can be heard, harmonizing with the sweet notes of birds greeting the new day. This is a world dawning anew, filled with the promise of life, discovery, and profound wisdom, all waiting to unfold in the story of existence that is ancient China. As we journey through these early landscapes, we find ourselves surrounded by verdant rice paddies that sway lightly in the breeze, echoing the ancient agricultural practices that have sustained millions. The fertile soil along the banks of the Yellow River, known as Huanghe, blankets the land with alluvial richness, allowing the first farmers to implant their seeds and cultivate staples that would form the backbone of a burgeoning society. This river, often referred to as the Mother River of China, is not merely a stretch of water. It is the lifeblood of civilization, embodying both nurturing force and great peril, reminding us through its ebb and flow of the intimate connection between humanity and nature. As the sun climbs higher, bathing the countryside in its warm embrace, a soft calm envelops the scene, allowing us to reflect on the great tapestry of time that binds the vast epochs of Chinese history together, each thread woven with intricate tales of ingenuity and resilience. From the unrecorded stirrings of the Neolithic cultures, distinguished solely by the relics of tools and pottery excavated from the deep earth, to the establishment of the Zhou dynasty, believed to be the first true dynasty in Chinese history, the foundations of this great civilization began to take shape. In this early era, we can almost hear the whispers of ancient families gathering around warm fires under the vast expanse of the starlit sky, sharing stories of gods and ancestors that danced like flickering shadows, an intricate blend of myth and cultural formation that would ripple through generations. As we extend our gaze further into the history that unfolds, we hear echoes of the Shang and Zhou dynasties, each bringing new innovations and deepening the philosophies that would touch upon every aspect of life. The Shang dynasty gifted Chinese civilization with advancements in metallurgy, producing magnificent bronze vessels utilized not only for practical purposes, but also for ritualistic ceremonies that underscored the unshakable connection between the mundane and the divine. The Zhou, emerging after the Shang, transformed the very governance of society with the introduction of the concept of the mandate of heaven, declaring a cosmic approval of rulers while intertwining politics with morality, a dance of ethics and power that would shape dynasties for centuries to come. The lush geography of China, stretching from the towering peaks of the Himalayas in the west to the sprawling plains of the east, provides the backdrop against which this grand narrative has played out. The silk-clad mountains, caressed by the playful winds, shelter not just mythic creatures but shape the very destiny of those who dwelt within their shadows. To the north, the windswept Gobi Desert stands stark against the vibrant life along river valleys, creating a natural boundary that has historically protected and isolated these nascent Chinese states, a reminder of the delicate balance between cooperation and conflict as various tribes and cultures mingled on this vast land. As we breathe deeply, letting the peace of the softness of nature envelop us, it is essential to understand that this ancient civilization, with its myriad achievements in art, science, philosophy, and governance, has cast long shadows across time, shaping the very contours of human history. The invention of paper and the compass, the exploration by land and sea, and the philosophical musings of great thinkers such as Confucius, Laozi, and Mozi spoke not only of their respective eras, but also wove a fabric of thought that would cross borders and resonate within minds far removed from their origins. The quiet reflections of a scholar's life, meticulously recording wisdom and dialogues within official state texts, would ripple long into the future, inspiring generations to reflect upon their moral duties and the pursuit of harmony. Entering the heart of a modest village, nestled amongst these rolling landscapes, the sights and sounds reveal the rhythms of daily life intertwined with the pursuit of enlightenment. Farmers, clad in simple linen garments, can be seen toiling in the fields, their toil accompanied by the harmonious sound of wooden plows cutting through the earth, symbolizing not just labor but a sacred duty in the cycle of life that nourishes both body and spirit. The air is filled with the jovial chatter of families sharing in the harvest, embodying the philosophy that sustains the well-being of not just the individual, but of the village as a whole, a reflection of the collectivist ethos that permeated through time. Nearby, the sounds of clattering pottery and the delicate brushstrokes of calligraphy fill the air within the wooden structures crafted with great care, embodying the traditions that have been passed down through generations. The feel of cool clay in artisans' hands, as they shape vessels for both beauty and function, speaks of creativity blooming within confines of humble spaces, while the flowing strokes of ink on parchment express thoughts that transcend the mundane, encouraging contemplation and dialogue amongst individuals drawn together by ideas of virtue and humanity. In these moments of stillness and reflection, it becomes apparent that history is not merely an archive of dates and events, but rather a rich tapestry interwoven with the dreams, hopes, and struggles of those who lived in these times. The towns, fields, and mountains that hold their stories are but soft echoes of lives interlaced through generations, each brushstroke and cultivation revealing a striving for meaning and belonging. As the day advances, a sense of tranquility permeates the landscape, underscoring the intrinsic connection between the people, their land, and the philosophies that guided them through the uncertainties of their existence. Through this serene passage, we endeavor to explore how the gentle lapping of river waters reminds us not only of continuity, but of transformation. The spirit of ancient China, carved in the hearts of its people, relinquishes forth a promise of legacy while simultaneously urging us to listen closely to the lessons embedded in the quiet movements of nature, the harmony of existence that beckons us to join in a discourse with the past, cultivating an understanding that transcends time, inviting each of us to walk within its embrace. And so, as the sun begins its slow descent beyond the horizon, painting the sky with brilliant strokes of orange and violet, we invite ourselves to linger within this vast and intricate world, knowing there are countless stories yet to unfold like petals unfurling toward the light. A day in ancient China just beyond our reach continues to breathe with life, inviting us to witness the unfolding of its timeless narrative. As we meander through the serene landscapes that have long thrived within the cradle of civilization, we can almost feel the presence of the ancestors whose lives were profoundly shaped by the ebbs and flows of nature. In their hearts lay the stewardship of the land, and in their hands were the plowshares and rudimentary tools of early agriculture that heralded an era of stability and growth. Here, along the winding banks of the Yellow River, communities began to gather, forming the tapestry of early Chinese society as they engaged in the intricate dance of planting, harvesting, and reflection, forever entwined with the rhythms of the seasons. The Zhou dynasty, thought to have emerged around the 21st century BCE, represents a dawning moment in the historical timeline of China, a blend of legend and emerging governance that paved the way for the realization of a more organized society. While archaeological evidence remains elusive, the tales of Yu the Great, who is said to have tamed the floodwaters of the Yellow River, ripple through time, symbolizing humanity's struggle against nature and showcasing the virtues of resolve and innovation. The cultivation of rice, millet, and wheat steadily gained a foothold, fostering not just sustenance but the very spirit of community as families grew together, shaping their identities amidst the backdrop of majestic mountains and fertile plains. As we step further into this narrative, the Shang dynasty emerges around 1600 BCE, replacing its predecessor and bolstering the intricate social structures that would influence generations. The Shang, so deeply rooted in the concept of ancestor worship and divination practices, introduced the earliest known examples of written language, a principal tool in governance and spirituality alike. With their oracle bones, they sought guidance from their forebearers, etching questions into the surface of tortoise shells or bones, waiting for the crackling flames to reveal the secrets of the universe. It is here that we can come to appreciate the rich tapestry of belief that bound the Shang people, an unshakable understanding that the past intimately informed their present and future. As the Shang gradually evolved into a more stratified society, complete with a class of skilled artisans and a burgeoning merchant class, the very landscapes they inhabited began to reflect their complexities. Pottery, jade sculpture, and bronze work flourished, infusing daily life with artistry and expression, enabling families to capture their aspirations and desires in objects that spoke of both utility and spirit. Amidst these advancements, the sound of artisans carefully chiseling bronze into complex ceremonial vessels fills our imagination, drawing art and the divine together in harmonious symmetry, a quiet reflection of the human aspiration to transcend the ordinary. Moving into the Zhou dynasty, which scholars believe began around 1046 BCE, we observe a profound shifting of thought as philosophical ideals burgeoned alongside political changes. The Zhou famously introduced the concept of the mandate of heaven, suggesting that rulers derived their authority from a divine source, which inherently connected the heavens, the earth, and the people. This belief not only shaped governance and justice, but brought forth a contemplative legacy that permeated the fabric of society. As community members gathered for discussions, sharing tales and pondering the eloquence of fate, they began to explore ideologies that would guide them through the ages, nurturing the roots of Confucianism, Taoism, and Moism, each offering different reflections on morality, harmony, and human relations. Nestled within these mountains and valleys, we can begin to visualize the Zhou people participating in ritualistic practices, embodying the philosophies that guided their lives. Situations of harmony, conflict, and accord played out not only on the grand stage of history but within individual households, with the sanctity of familial interactions taking center stage as well. The sounds of laughter, the gentle patter of small feet running across cooled earth, and the murmur of elder voices imparting wisdom are woven together, reinforcing bonds of kinship that would endure through trials and tribulations alike. These familial obligations, paired with the growth of social networks, formed the backbone of ancient Chinese society, a framework by which people interacted with one another, depended on their shared resources, and navigated through their daily lives. Women, while often relegated to domestic spheres, played pivotal roles within these environments, tending to the hearth and shaping the next generation's understanding of values and virtues, weaving their influence into the very fabric of society. As we culturally and geographically widen our perspective, the majestic landscape of ancient China unfolds like a carefully scribed scroll, revealing not just rolling hills and tranquil rivers, but also formidable mountain ranges that, while providing natural barriers, harbored within them rich resources waiting to be uncovered. The looming divine presence of the Himalayas, etched in shadows of twilight, offered shelter and security while simultaneously inspiring a mystical reverence within those who gazed upon them. Here in this land, the art of trade blossomed, transcending regions as the thirst for silk, spices, and precious minerals led to the development of early marketplaces, where goods exchanged hands amidst the jingle of coins and the laughter of bustling merchants. As we draw near to the banks of the vast Yangtze River, we hear the whispers of traders and fishermen alike, their activities harmonizing with the delicate breath of nature. The waters of this mighty river flow generously, guiding vessels that mark the passage of both goods and cultural exchanges in this nascent world. Through the establishment of these early trading routes, the seeds of economic interdependence began to spring forth, suggesting a society rich with potential, eager to learn and grow through encounters with neighboring tribes and cultures. Emerging against this backdrop of commerce and collaboration, we witness the rise of scholarship, where scrolls filled with the exquisite brushwork of scholars capture the eloquent dialogues that delve into realms of philosophy, technology, and ethics. These scholars, sitting beneath the shade of ancient oaks, would engage with one another in profound discussions, pondering life's great mysteries under a tapestry of cherry blossoms swaying gently in the spring breeze. Each stroke of the brush signifies a moment of connection, a gathering of insights transformed into contemplative thoughts that traverse the boundaries of time. Stepping lightly through these cherished landscapes, we begin to appreciate how the geography of ancient China shaped not only the lives of those who called it home, but also the very ideals that came to define them. The complexities of human relationships, the strains of societal structures, and the currents of spiritual beliefs flowed together, guiding an entire people toward an understanding of their place within the cosmos. The ruins of ancient shrines, now mere echoes of bustling life, remind us of the sacredness of this union, a testament to a world steeped in wonder and curiosity, forever pondering the threads that bind humanity to nature. And as the day gently unfurls, casting delicate shadows across the land, we find ourselves immersed in a stunning reflection on the wonder of existence, how the stories of our forebears, woven together with both struggle and peace, have left an indelible mark upon our collective memory. It is within this essence, this deep connection to history, that we understand ourselves not merely as spectators, but as integral characters in a dramatic play stretching across centuries, each note strummed in harmony with the heartbeat of generations past. In conclusion, life in ancient China serves as a gentle reminder that humanity's journey is one of perpetual continuity and transformation, inviting us to pause and embrace the mystery that connects all beings across the ages. Not merely an echo from the distant past, the experiences of those long gone resonate through the landscapes, teaching us as we reflect upon their legacy about the timeless essence of existence itself. We are part of a grand narrative, still writing our own chapters amidst the sacred silence that surrounds us, and as the sun begins to set on that tranquil day, we know we are merely at the beginning of a profound exploration of ancient wisdom, waiting to be revealed. As the sun rises over the verdant landscapes of ancient China, the soft glow of dawn illuminates the thatched roofs of humble homes nestled among the fields. Here in the embrace of early morning mist, families prepare to greet the day, their routines intertwined with the rhythm of nature itself. The gentle sounds of a rooster crowing signal the start of a new day, as daughters and sons begin to awaken one by one, stifling yawns and stretching in the warmth of their shared hearth. In the spaces where family bonds are cherished, the roles of each member come to life. Mothers busy themselves grinding grains with handcrafted stone mortars, While fathers prepare to venture into the fields, sturdy wooden plows in hand, gathering around a simple wooden table, the family enjoys a modest breakfast, perhaps a warm porridge made from the very crops they have nurtured. As the aroma of rice mingles with the sweet scent of freshly plucked vegetables, we can almost hear the laughter of children echo in joyous anticipation of another day filled with exploration and growth. Meals are more than mere sustenance. They are threads of connection, weaving familial ties strengthened by shared experience. After breakfast, the family tends to their daily tasks, their movements embodying the choreography of life in a tightly knit community. As the villagers emerge from their homes, each individual takes on a role that contributes to the larger tapestry of daily existence. The hum of conversation fills the air, punctuated by the rhythmic clanking of farming tools and the laughter of children as they chase one another beneath the watchful gaze of ancient cypresses. Elders share stories of their past, imparting wisdom to young ones eager to absorb the knowledge of generations. The cycles of sowing and reaping become a harmonious dance of patience and anticipation. Within this vibrant community, relationships flourish, nurtured through shared experiences and collective labor. The farmers toil in the fields during the hours when the sun blesses the land, effortlessly attuned to the seasons and the whims of nature. They gently tend to the lush rice paddies, their hands submerged in the cool water as they work side by side, exchanging ideas, dreams, and laughter. The songs sung during these long days in the fields resonate against the backdrop of golden rays that filter through the leaves overhead. Music becomes a ritual, echoing the pulse of life, vibrant with energy, reaffirming their connection to one another and the land. Beyond the practicalities of daily life, the weaving of cultural traditions and beliefs into the tapestry of society creates an atmosphere rich with purpose and reflection. In each household, the ancestral spirits occupy a sacred space, a practice that transcends generations. Each family maintains a small shrine adorned with offerings of fruit and incense, their homes reflecting their devotion and reverence for those who have come before. As they light the incense, the fragrant smoke spirals toward the heavens, a silent communication with the ancestors, a prayer for guidance and protection, a heartfelt connection that transcends time itself. As dusk softly descends upon the village, the threads of community bind ever closer, pulling together to share the end-of-day meal prepared with care and intention. The shared dishes, perhaps a hearty stew accompanied by freshly baked steamed buns, are an exquisite emblem of their cooperative spirit. As they gather in the warm glow of the soft lantern light, the joy of shared meals is a celebration of the abundance bestowed upon them by the land. Stories are exchanged, laughter spills over like fine wine, and unity fills the air, stitching together bonds that grow resilient with every passing season. Outside, as the sun sinks lower on the horizon, the music of the marketplace comes alive. A vibrant tapestry of colors unfolds as merchants hawk their wares, their voices mingling with the aroma of roasted chestnuts and simmering stews. This bustling hub becomes an essential thread in the social fabric, an avenue through which diverse ideas and goods are exchanged. The clanging of metal bells from vendors' carts, coupled with the soft laughter of children darting between stalls, fills the air with an undeniable sense of vitality. The night brings forth the possibility of reflection and leisure, a moment to pause amidst the busyness of life. Families regroup in their homes, seeking warmth and comfort within the familiar embrace of one another. The intricate art of storytelling comes to life at night, as the flickering flames dance in the hearth, illuminating the eager faces gathered around. Here, eloquent tales unfurl, glorious myths of heroes, adventures, and profound lessons that echo through the ages. Each story connects them to their heritage, allowing each listener, young and old alike, to find pieces of themselves within these shared narratives. At this juncture, it is essential to appreciate the artistry that embellishes daily life. Craftsmanship flourishes throughout ancient China, weaving beauty into the mundane. Skilled artisans engage in creating intricate pottery, textiles, and metalwork, their hands conjuring objects that bear personal significance. Like an artist whose brushstrokes slowly unearth a vivid landscape, each creation serves as a testimony to the human spirit, rich with skill, creativity, and intention. The sounds of chiseling jade or the rhythmic beating of a loom invoke a contemplative peace, exuding a soft melody tinged with aspiration, encapsulating the dreams of those who labor tirelessly in pursuit of beauty. As the day ebbs toward twilight, the silhouettes of pagodas rise against the backdrop of the softening sky, resonating with tales of devotion and spirituality. Spiritual practices permeate every aspect of life, weaving the divine into daily routines. Temples, often adorned with intricate carvings and vibrant banners, become sanctuaries for contemplation and prayer. Here, practitioners find solace, enveloped in soft chants that echo amidst incense-laden air, a gentle cocoon that shields them from the clamor of the outside world. The philosophies of Confucianism and Taoism enrich this lived experience, giving voice to the aspirations of individuals while calling for harmony within family, society, and nature. The teachings of these thinkers laid the groundwork for ethical behavior, advising individuals on their responsibilities toward others, an essential tenet of their culture. In community gatherings, the virtues of respect, empathy, and harmony flow freely, guiding interactions and nurturing the growth of relationships, creating a profound atmosphere of trust and understanding. As we wander through the corridors of these timeless practices, we find ourselves enveloped in a world alive with the vibrancy of humanity, where the external environments intertwine gracefully with the internal landscapes of thought and belief. Every corner of this ancient civilization resonates with the wisdom of generations past, held within the hearts and minds of those who daily navigate the complexities of existence. In these moments of quiet intimacy with the earth, one can truly appreciate the delicate balance that life in ancient China exemplified, a harmonious interplay of labor, love, spirituality, and cultural pride. It is within these simple yet profound acts of daily life that the greater narrative unfolds, whispering tales of resilience and grace, encouraging us to consider both our roots stretched far back into the past and the sprouting future that awaits just ahead. Through the tapestry of social life, woven with threads of tradition and belief, history offers a gentle reminder. Each mundane moment, every act of kindness, and the pursuit of artistry blend seamlessly into a collective symphony of existence, giving rise to the uniquely rich tapestry of ancient Chinese civilization, an enduring reflection of humanity's timeless quest for meaning and connection. The echoes of their world reverberate softly through our own, urging us onward as we continue to explore the myriad narratives that enrich the life we share today. As the sun casts its golden light over the sprawling countryside, the fabric of ancient Chinese civilization begins to reveal itself through significant historical currents teeming with ambition, creativity, and conflict. Over centuries, dynasties rose and fell like the waves that lapped gently against the shores of the Yangtze and Yellow rivers. Each kingdom, a testament to the evolution of governance, culture, and society, tells a story rich with the complex interplay of human nature that has shaped the principles of life shared in this vast land. To speak of ancient China is to speak of the powerful dynasties that dramatically molded its historical landscape. The Xia, Shang, and Zhou dynasties laid the very foundations of Chinese civilization, each contributing distinctively to the social and political fabric, while crafting the philosophical ideals that would seep into the consciousness of age after age. The myths surrounding the Xia, often cloaked in a blend of history and legend, tell tales of the great Yu, who tamed floods and established a semblance of order, navigating the tumultuous waters of both the natural world and the nascent social structures emerging at the time. In time, the Shang dynasty would rise, ushering in an era of written records, an important innovation that would preserve the wisdom and experiences of generations. Bone inscriptions and intricate bronze vessels from this period reveal not just the practicalities of daily life and the reverence for ancestors, but also the spiritual beliefs that intertwine the daily lives of people with celestial forces. This interconnection speaks to a worldview where harmony with the cosmos and respect for ancestry were paramount. Here we can almost feel a nuanced and contemplative society taking shape, engaged in rituals and ceremonies designed to appease the spirits believed to shape their fates. The Zhou dynasty followed suit, introducing the notion of the mandate of heaven, an essential dogma that would influence governance for millennia. This philosophical underpinning established a moral basis for rulership, suggesting that divine approval was contingent upon just and moral leadership. Civil uprisings, however, were not uncommon. The rulers' failure to honor this trust led to various discontents, igniting conflicts that altered the course of dynastic stability. The feudal system, which emerged during this age, allowed for a dynamic and often tumultuous interplay between landowners and peasants, auguring both opportunities and tensions that would resonate throughout China's history. As we transition to the era of the warring states, perhaps no period embodies the essence of conflict within ancient China more vividly than this. Rivalries surged and ebbed among the 7 major kingdoms, Kai, Chu, Yan, Han, Zhao, Wei, and Qin, each vying for not just land, but for dominion over the hearts and minds of the people. The intricate dance of alliances and enmities gave rise to brilliant yet tragic characters, formidable generals such as Sun Tzu, whose strategic wisdom in the art of war ripples through history to this day, offering insights on leadership and the nature of conflict. It was a time defined by both innovation and destruction, where walls were erected not just as physical boundaries, but as metaphors for separation, each kingdom staunchly defending its territory and identity against the encroaching ambitions of its neighbors. And yet, it was within this crucible of strife that the seeds of philosophical thought began to flourish amidst the chaos. The teachings of Confucius emerged as a powerful counterpoint, emphasizing virtue, morality, and the importance of societal harmony. He urged individuals to embody the values of respect and propriety, fostering a sense of duty toward family and community. Alongside Confucianism arose Taoism, which offered an alternate lens, encouraging a return to simplicity and a harmonious alignment with the flow of nature. The ideologies shared nurturing soil within the minds of the people, sometimes intertwining, guiding not just individual conduct but laying a moral framework upon which the future society could build a richer, more profound communal life. With the eventual triumph of the Qin dynasty, a remarkable transformation of governance unfurled. Qin Shi Huang, often hailed as the first emperor of a unified China, wielded unprecedented power, implementing sweeping reforms that reshaped the landscape. His contributions included standardizing weights and measures, establishing a unified writing system, and initiating the construction of roads that would facilitate trade and cultural exchange. This centralization of authority also bore the hallmark of despotism. Harsh laws and forced labor left a legacy of bitter memories among the populace. Great Wall, an ambitious project developed further during this time, would symbolize not just protection from invasions, but also the lengths to which the emperor would go to assert control over his realm. Yet as we savor the fruits of these accomplishments, it is essential to acknowledge the tensions that simmered not far beneath the surface. The fall of the Qin, which was engendered by excessive cruelty, gave way to the Han dynasty, an era remembered fondly for its advancements in culture and technology. The Silk Road emerged as a vital artery for trade, inviting an influx of goods, ideas, and cultural exchanges, creating bonds with distant lands and transforming both the economy and the landscape of thought. Artisans flourished, flourishing in craftsmanship that expressed cultural wisdom, while silk weaving and inventive innovations such as papermaking unfolded, ushering in new forms of expression. Yet as dynasties rose, so did the specter of class divisions, which intensified social fractures. The struggles of the peasantry bore echoes of the inequitable system where wealth remained concentrated among the elites. This accumulating discontent found expression in the ceaseless struggles and rebellions that would intersperse the otherwise grand narrative of architectural and cultural achievements. Every rebellion pricked a deeper wound, exposing the fragility of authority and the longing for fairness and justice that rippled through the land, a yearning that often devolved into turmoil amidst the grand ambitions of rulers. As centuries marched on into the Tang and Song dynasties, the richness of civilization further blossomed, cultural exchanges reached their zenith, and artistic pursuits thrived. The richness expressed through poetry and painting reached unprecedented heights, embodying both the artistic sensibilities and profound philosophical aspirations of the era. The flourishing of Buddhism brought forth new spiritual dimensions, inviting more complex dialogues in matters of existence, morality, and the transcendent forces that shape human life. Understanding the threads woven into society during these times offers a gentle reminder of the intricacy and depth of human experience, the artist, philosopher, and peasant alike contributing to the grand narrative of existence, sometimes at odds, at other times in harmony. Each event along the continuum, whether a series of wars entangling states or the quiet reflection etched in a poem, echoes with the poignant complexities of humanity. Through it all, ancient China embodied resilience, a civilization that, despite the many upheavals it faced, was able to find the quiet whispers of hope amidst the clamor of power struggles and ambitions. The cycle of rise and fall was not solely one of tragedy, but rather an essential part of an ever-evolving narrative that gracefully guided the people toward introspection and cultural richness. As we linger in the warmth of these reflections, the landscape of ancient China emerges not just as a record of conflict and ambitions, but as a collective consciousness imprinted upon the fabric of time. Humanity's timeless quest for meaning and connection flows unbroken, the lessons unearthed from this rich history still enlightening the shores of contemporary society. As the historical tapestry of ancient China unfolds, we encounter significant turning points that not only delineate the rise and fall of formidable dynasties, but also encapsulate the profound transformations that reverberated through the lives of its people. The Han dynasty, often considered golden for its cultural and technological advancements, casts a lengthy shadow over subsequent epochs, shaping ideals and aspirations that would linger in the collective memory of the Chinese civilization for centuries to come. With the establishment of the Silk Road, we witnessed the blossoming of trade routes that not only facilitated the exchange of silk, spices, and precious goods, but also fostered the cross-pollination of ideas, beliefs, and artistic expressions. This intricate network blossomed under the auspices of the Han and endured through the ages, stitching together the fabric of the vast continent into a cohesive tapestry of intercultural dialogue and development. However, as the cadence of prosperity echoed through this vibrant network, it was also accompanied by subtle signs of strain beneath its gilded surface. The accumulation of wealth among the elite created chasms that widened between classes, leading to growing discontent among the peasantry. The consequences of agrarian struggles, poor harvests, excessive taxation, and forced labor brought on by ambitious state projects turned into a simmering dissatisfaction that would eventually erupt into revolts, such as the Yellow Turban Rebellion in the late Han period. This uprising, marked by the cries for equality and justice among the laboring classes, illuminated the fragility of imperial authority and foreshadowed the coming disintegration of what was regarded as one of history's most illustrious civilizations. The fall of the Han dynasty in the early 3rd century CE ushered in a period of fragmentation and division, as the once unified realm crumbled into a landscape marked by chaos and uncertainty, a reflection of the cyclical nature of history steeped in struggles between individual aspirations and collective governance. This era of division, known broadly as the Three Kingdoms period, was punctuated by 3 rival kingdoms, Wei, Shu, and Wu, each vying for supremacy through the trials of war and political maneuvering. The legendary tales of valor, such as those chronicled in records of the Three Kingdoms, echo through the ages, romanticizing the figures who sought to unite or conquer, embedding them deeply in the cultural psyche of the dynasties to come. Characters such as Cao Cao, Liu Bei, and Sun Quan would not only become historical titans, but also the subjects of folklore, their stories intertwining legend with lessons of governance and human frailty. Yet amidst this fragmentation, coupled with the intense rivalry of kingdoms, there existed a remarkable resilience. Humanitarianism flourished, manifested in art, philosophy, and the shared culture that persisted through adversity. While power dynamics shifted like the sands, cultural continuity blossomed as artists, poets, and scholars sought to express their truths even amidst the clamor of conflict. Buddhism, having made its way into Chinese society through the Silk Road, began to intertwine itself with established belief systems, inviting fresh spiritual dialogues that spoke to both suffering and transcendence. Temples adorned with intricate carvings and vibrant murals sprouted in cities and small villages alike, evoking a sense of shared human experience while serving as sanctuaries for reflection and solace amidst turbulent times. As centuries flowed, the Sui and Tang dynasties emerged from the ashes of the fragmented states, heralding an era characterized by unification and extraordinary cultural flourishing. The Sui dynasty, albeit short-lived, laid critical infrastructure, notably the Grand Canal, which would enhance commerce and agriculture, helping to pivot the economy into new vibrancy. The subsequent Tang period, often lauded as a high-water mark for cultural sophistication, saw the arts and intellect blossom like flowers in spring, and the echoes of poetry from the era still resonate, inviting contemplation and reflection. The artistic pursuits of the Tang highlighted the interconnectedness of humanity, celebrating the individual while simultaneously weaving collective narratives meant to ennoble the human spirit. But history, as the aspirational hopes of dynasties waxed, dictated that challenges would accompany success. The Tang faced challenges both internal and external, rebellions and corruption within their ranks compounded by pressures from nomadic incursions from the north. The Lushan rebellion, erupting in the mid-8th century, resulted in devastating loss and upheaval. This tragic moment not only fractured the grip of Tang power, but set in motion a series of events that would lead to escalating dissent, showcasing the inexorable ebb and flow of power that civilizations experience. As we journey forward into the Song dynasty, we witness both a continuation of the cultural legacy established by previous dynasties and an adaptation to a rapidly changing world. The Song period is often remarked upon for advancements in agriculture, technology, and commerce. Innovations like the use of printing facilitated a surge in literacy and education, fostering a populace enriched with knowledge and ideas. The emergence of a burgeoning merchant class began to reconfigure traditional social structures, challenging the concept of aristocratic privilege that had long held sway. Yet amid this growth and transformation lay a complex tension. While the Song dynasty fostered advancements that enhanced daily life and cultural engagement, it also struggled with external pressures, particularly the looming threats from the north, including the formidable Mongol Empire. Such existential threats often birthed a complicated relationship between the ruling class and the general populace, where sacrifices during wartime would strain the social fabric while spurring a legacy of resilience and adaptation. In this constant tug-of-war between power, culture, and the human spirit, we discern that the heartbeats of societies are not merely marked by vast achievements and monumental structures, but also by the stories of individuals, the artisans crafting masterpieces, the poets breathing life into words, and the farmers sowing seeds against the undulating currents of fate. A legacy emerges from these interwoven lives, testifying to their shared adventure, their trials and tribulations, all converging within the cultural consciousness that continues to thrive in modern-day China. As we reflect on the cyclical nature of history, we encounter poignant reminders of survival, memory, and legacy as they cascade through the ages like a river carving its path through the mountains. With each dynasty's rise and inevitable decline, the teachings of wisdom, morality, and philosophy linger on, echoing through conversations in marketplaces and themes in literature. The visions of Confucius and Taoist thought remain embedded in cultural practices and social engagements, perpetuating dialogues that bridge the ancient with the contemporary. Thus, the legacy of ancient China is a testament to humanity's quest for meaning and enlightenment amidst the complexity of existence. In the layers of history that unfold, from the majestic peaks of the Himalayas to the gentle flow of rivers like the Pearl and Yangtze, we perceive the enduring resilience of a civilization that has navigated the stormy seas of change, creating an indelible mark upon the annals of time. Each fragment of its narrative continues to nestle into the consciousness of the present, guiding and enriching the journey of a nation that holds within its heart the deep-rooted stories of its past, a rich narrative stretching across the horizon of possibility. As we gently smooth the fabric of history to reveal the enduring legacy of ancient China, we are met with the profound reflections of a civilization that across millennia has woven itself into the very essence of humanity. The wisdom that has emerged from the teachings of Confucius and the philosophies embraced in Taoism represent not merely ancient doctrines but living ideas that continue to resonate, echoing through the corridors of time and allowing us glimpses into the minds and souls of those who traverse this path before us. Each thought, each lesson, rests like a soft whisper against the backdrop of an ever-turning world, offering insights that guide the hearts of many even as the landscape of our existence changes. The rhythms of daily life in the various epochs of ancient China were characterized by an intricate balance of traditions and innovations, where the simplicity of farming, the artistry of craftsmanship, and the narration of poetry coalesced to create a rich cultural tapestry. A humble farmer planting seeds in the fertile soil, tending to the golden waves of rice beneath the warm sun, shared a bond with the poets who poured their heart into verses depicting the beauty of nature and the transience of existence. Such images dance through our minds like the glimmering lights in a festival, illuminating the shared struggles and joys of the human experience, a continuum that transcends the limits of time. As we reflect upon the splendor of the Tang and Song periods, we encounter a blossoming of artistic expression that mirrors the rhythms of the changing seasons. The splendor of Tang poetry encompasses the profound complexities of love, longing, and the ephemeral nature of life, encapsulated within elegant verses that whispered secrets of the human condition. Artists adorn the walls of society's temples with elaborate scenes, depicting not just the beauty of the world, but also its inherent struggles and triumphs, inviting future generations to find solace and understanding in these shared narratives. Yet beyond the arts, we recall the transformative inventions that emerged throughout ancient China, such as the compass and gunpowder, along with the nuances of scientific thought and agricultural innovations that helped mold a society both resilient and adaptive. Our understanding of these contributions leads us down the venerable corridors of time, where we uncover how these ancient intelligences shaped not just Chinese civilization, but also rippled outward into the broader tapestry of human history. The ink on paper began to fly across the seas, carrying ideas of philosophy and technology, soothing fears and igniting curiosity among the far-flung cultures they touched. However, as we navigate this river of history, we must not shy away from the poignant chapters marked by loss and silence, the silenced voices of the oppressed, the marginalized, and the forgotten. Each change of dynasty brought with it echoes of upheaval and profound sorrow, for within the grand narrative of rise and fall are the stories of countless lives shattered by war and discord. The remnants of the past weave in and out of our consciousness, reminding us of the sacrifices borne by those who endured seasons of strife, armed only with hope and the desire for a better tomorrow. And so, as we contemplate the metamorphosis of ancient China from fragmented kingdoms to a unified cultural powerhouse, we permit ourselves to dwell in the silence that often accompanies profound change. In this quietude, we begin to grasp the importance of memory, the vital role that remembrance plays in the shaping of identity, for what remains in the collective heart of a civilization is not merely the chronology of its victories and defeats, but the cherished memories that imbue these events with meaning. Memory stands as a bridge between the ancient and the present, allowing the lessons learned to impart guidance as the river of time continues its relentless flow. As we drift into the present day, we find that the echoes of ancient wisdom continue to resonate profoundly among the people of modern China and beyond. the teachings of Confucius still find their way into classrooms, shaping the moral compass of future generations as the words of poetry retain their place in the cultural repertoire, encapsulating dreams, aspirations, and the poignancy of life. The festivals and rituals born from those ancient traditions stand resilient against the currents of rapid modernization, as communities gather to honor the past while forging their paths into the future. This lineage of thought, where the past is thoughtfully interwoven with contemporary existence, generates a space of continuity that nurtures cultural identity amid a world in flux. It is within this sacred space that silence intertwines with memory, for there lies a quiet resolve in recognizing the depth of one's heritage, an acknowledgement that transcends time, allowing the resilience of the human spirit to persist despite the shifting sands of time. As our journey draws to its reflective conclusion, we find ourselves at the serene banks of history, peering into the depths of an expansive river that stretches far beyond our sight. These waters, filled with the myriad stories of those who walked upon its shores, overflow with whispers of hope, resilience, and the quiet strength born of unity in diversity. Each ripple echoes an untold story yearning to be heard, a testament to the shared human experience still pulsing vibrantly through the veins of society. In such moments of contemplation, we embrace the silence as it envelops us, a tranquil sanctuary that allows us to draw forth the essence of what has been and what continues to shape us. With each breath, we are beckoned to remember the intertwined fates of empires and individuals alike, acknowledging that amidst the kaleidoscope of history, it is the stories cherished and carried forward that echo the loudest. Thus, we depart upon this calm journey, feeling the gentle weight of history resting softly upon our hearts, reminding us that we are woven into a far greater narrative, a continuous thread of existence that transcends borders, civilizations, and time itself. As we drift beyond the horizon of the ancient world, we do so with a sense of serenity, carrying forth the memory of those who have come before and sharing in the great dance of life that connects us all, an eternal circle embracing both the loss and the legacy from which we emerge.